Hello, my friends, and happy Saturday. Woohoo! It is a weekend. Not only is it a weekend, it is a long weekend. Oh, yes. Doug had yesterday off. That was his regularly scheduled Friday off, but he took Monday off. He's not off on Monday. His company is not closed for MLK Day, but he did take the day off, and I am off because, teachers' kids. So I'm excited about that. We have plans for Monday. You know what those plans are? Nothing. Yep, we are going to, we were going to sleep in and all that fun stuff. But Doug has a viewing to go to now in the morning, so we're not going to sleep in. But I said, you know what? When you come home, put your pajamas back on. And, we are going to have such a nothing day on Monday. I'm excited. Although I think now that Ann and Andrew are staying through Monday, I don't know. They're off on Monday. They're here for the weekend because of Doug's birthday celebration tonight. And they just need to, I'm trying to make my tea here and talk to you. They just also need to decompress and get away from everything. They're both struggling hard. They really are. If it was just one of them, I'd say, but it's both of them in the school that they are in. It's just not the best place for a first-year teacher who's trying to do grad school. But we're not going to get into that. So, just pray for both of them. What else? I hope there's a chicken chase going on out there. I wonder what goes through their heads. So I am up. It is, like I said, it's early morning. And the kids wanted bagels for breakfast. I'm not sure if we're doing bagel sandwiches or bagels and cream cheese or what, but it's pantry challenge. We're out of bagels. I think there's only 2 left in the freezer, so I am up to make bagels for everyone. Found the new recipe, 1-hour bagels. We'll give it a try. I was gonna make some 2-ingredient dough bagels for myself, but I have so much cooking to do today that, yeah, I'm not doing any extra. I'm making these bagels. I have to make Doug's birthday cake. He wants an Italian love cake. I can show it to you. It's not WW friendly, but I can show it to you. It's really an interesting cake. Not really what I like because it's got a lot of processed box stuff in it. But you know what? It's one day, it's one cake, it's one piece. In the grand scheme of things, it's okay. Because guess what? None of that cake is staying here. Nope. It's all going home with other people. I'll put one piece aside so Doug can have a piece. Oh, no, you don't even go to work Monday. I'll save one extra piece for Doug, but that's it. It is not hanging out here. Nope. So I'm going to make that. I have to make dinner, which is chicken pot pie. Not chicken pot pie like the crust with the filling inside. Chicken pot pie like the Amish chicken pot pie. Some people call it chicken and noodles. Some people call it chicken and dumplings. That's what it is. What else? And I have to make dinner rolls to go with the chicken pot pie. And I think I'm going to try a new dinner roll recipe. So, yeah.
Another one?
Yeah. I made a new one the other night. I don't know why. And it's just me being weird, probably. I like potato rolls with my chicken pot pie. I always used to buy the Martin's potato dinner rolls, but I'm going to try to make some potato dinner rolls today.
What's Hilltop used to always serve?
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. Quick story. A bazillion years ago, there was a little restaurant a couple towns over called the Hilltop Diner. And on Thursday nights...
I thought it was Wednesday nights.
Swedesburg's Wednesday. Was it Wednesday or was it Thursday? I don't know. Either Wednesday or Thursday night. They used to have chicken pot pie night. And it was the most popular night in this diner. And you could do takeouts. You could choose dark meat, white meat, or mixed meat. And you could do takeouts. People brought their own pots in. And that way you could just take it home and put it on the stove.
Because it was all you could eat.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it?
No, Swedesburg's all you can eat.
Oh, okay. So, I'm bad.
Shh. Doug does not have a good memory.
Never mind the voice in the distance.
Yes, ignore the voice in the distance. Anyway, they used to portion it out in your own pot. Anyway, they closed. Well, they sold it, and the new place doesn't do that, and it's a little more bougie. But they always serve potato rolls with it. So I guess that's why I insist on having potato rolls with my chicken pot pie. But anyway, so right now, all the kids are still sleeping. Andrew sleeps down here on the air mattress. Ann sleeps in his room. Adam's in his room. But when I came down, I kind of woke Andrew and I said, look, we're going to be cooking. I'm going to have the mixer going. I'm going to have the ice cream maker going. I'm going to have the coffee grinder going. I said, do you want to go? I had already made my bed, of course, and everything. I'm like, why don't you go upstairs in my room and just lay on top of the bed, take a quilt, get a little bit more sleep. So that's what he did. So I can be a little bit noisier down here because they're all upstairs sleeping. Adam's awake, though. I heard him. What else? I guess that's about it. New kitten is doing wonderful. She is a sweetheart. Oh, a sweetheart. She's funny. She's a kitten. She's definitely a kitten. We're not too much used to the kitten stuff because with Smalls, you know, he was so little when we got him because he was a genuine rescue. He was, you know, failure to thrive. He only weighed 12 ounces. And he never had been around cats before, so he wasn't really sure how to be a cat. So he was more like a dog. So we're having a really good time with all this playful kitten stuff. She's mischievous, though. Oh, she's mischievous, but it's fun. Just watching the chickens go into town on some pumpkins out there. They're doing all pretty well. You know, as the days get a little bit longer here and there, our egg production has gone up, which is nice. The babies have started laying, so we're getting white and blue eggs, and some of the ones that had stopped laying are starting to lay again, so that's all exciting. I told Doug's like, oh, our egg supply's building back up over here. I'm like, yeah, but after today it won't be because I'm going to hit those eggs hard, baking all day. So I'm going to stop chit-chatting because it's been long enough. I'm going to get back to making these bagels. I'll show you real quick what I'm doing. It's not a WW recipe, but each bagel has like 200, wait a minute, where is it? 284 calories, which I don't think is bad for a nice bagel. Considering, you know, like the ones you get like at Costco and all are 360 calories. So I will probably have a bagel or a bagel sandwich. My intention today was to have a very low point breakfast because my dinner's very high point, but I want to check my calories, and that will determine what I decide to do. So anyway, that is it. I'm going to go get these started, and I'm just watching the chicken traffic jam outside. I love, like, the fact that I can stand at the counter and work and watch them because they are so funny to watch. But anyway, I'll be back. Okay, I've got water, olive oil, and sugar in this measuring cup, and it's about 110 degrees. And in my bowl, I used bread flour, and I have instant yeast. Instant yeast, you do not have to proof in water first. You add it right to the dry ingredients. I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to add this to it and get these bagels started. And the recipe I'm using is from sugargeekshow.com. I'll link it below, of course. Okay, I'm just going to put this on low. I'm going to pour my water oil mixture in. And I'm just going to let it mix on low for a minute or two until everything is moistened. Then I'm going to sprinkle in 2 teaspoons of salt, increase the mixer to number 4 on a KitchenAid, and let it go for about 6 minutes. And while the bagels are over here kneading, I'm starting on my ice cream base. It is just 2 cups of heavy cream, 2 cups of milk, 3/4 cup of sugar, and a tablespoon of vanilla, and a dash of salt. I'm just gonna get that all mixed up, get it in my ice cream freezer so I can get that in the deep freezer so I can get a nice, perfect consistency for dinner tonight. Okay, there is our dough. It is actually beautiful dough. I have it in an oiled bowl. I'm just going to cover it, place it in a warm spot, which I use my oven. You know, I've talked before about how I turn my oven into a proofing oven. I just turn it on to 200 degrees and let it heat for just 1 minute and turn it off. It brings the temperature up to about 102, and that way I turn it off. Like I said, I don't leave the oven on, and it just makes a little bit of a warm environment for the dough. So I'm gonna let this rise for about 30 minutes. That instant yeast is much quicker than active dry. So in 30 minutes, this should be doubled in size. And while that's working, I'm gonna get working on the cake and the ice cream maker going. 23 minutes. Okay, we are doing fantastic here time-wise. We have the ice cream done. That's going in a Rubbermaid container into the deep freeze. We have our bagel dough that has risen, so I need to take care of that. But before I take care of that, we've got our water boiling for the bagels, and I've got the cake in there. And you know, I started thinking as I was making this, I could just make my favorite yellow cake, take a cup of the batter out, add the cocoa, and then make my own marble cake. I don't need a box mix. I wasn't thinking. You know, you're just so used to doing something. But anyway, that's ready. So now what we're doing is making the other part of the cake, and I'm going to show you that. Hang on 1 second. Let me get a better angle. Okay, like I said, we have our cake back there in the pan. Then we take 2 pounds of ricotta cheese, 3/4 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and then 4 eggs. And we mix this all up very well. You could use a hand mixer. I'm just too lazy to do that. We'll just mix it by hand. Okay, we have our beautiful cheese mixture. And now we are just going to, you want to switch? Pour it right over top of the cake batter as evenly as you can. Then this is going to go in the oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour. And that's where the magic happens. What happens during the baking is everything kind of switches places. I didn't do this as evenly as I should have. The cheese will sink to the bottom. The cake will rise to the top. It's actually pretty stinking cool. So we're gonna bake it at 350 for 1 hour and then let it cool completely, and then we're going to put a frosting on it. And that's where I'm gonna deviate a little bit from the recipe. So there you go. That's gonna go in at 350 for 1 hour. Okay, here is our beautiful, beautiful dough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weigh the whole thing out first so I can make sure I get 24 equal pieces. 1,367 grams. So let me go do the math. Okay, so each bagel is going to be 57 grams. Ooh, pretty darn close there, Joni. So what we're gonna do is take our little ball. Now, if you want bigger bagels, like, you know, like a bakery bagel, you can do 18. I don't want them to be huge because, well, you know, points, calories. So I just stretched the dough out and made a little bundle and then rolled it. You can roll it on the counter to smooth it or in your hand. Then I'm gonna stick my finger in the middle, poke a hole, and I'm gonna stretch it to about 2 inches. They're not gonna look perfect. I am not perfect. I do not pretend to be perfect. But they'll probably get better as I go. Oh my, yeah, that's definitely not perfect, but we're gonna try it. Now these get boiled next, but I'm just gonna set them aside to rest right now while I get the rest of them done. I don't know, they do, well, no, I think they'll be fine. Oh, see, this is where my little bit of, I have to have them 57 exactly. Okay, so you see, we just fold them over like that, pinch the bottom on the counter, and then poke our hole. So I'm gonna go get these done. And it says stretch it to 2 inches. The dough is very elastic. I have a feeling there's not gonna be a very big hole in these bagels. But that's okay. I'm sure they'll be delicious no matter what. So I'll be back when they're getting ready to go in the water. Of course, the minute I turn the video on, she stops playing. Her Uncle Joey and Aunt Moo brought over some toys for her, and this is her favorite. She loves this little mouse. It's got a little marble in the bottom of it, and she just bats it all over the floor. Then she picks it up and carries it in her mouth, and it looks so cute. Come on, Zelda, perform for us. Zelda. Nope. I knew it the minute I turned it on. Okay, so the next step is putting them in the boiling salt water, letting them go for 30 seconds, flipping them over, letting them go for another 30 seconds, so 1 minute total, and then putting them on a parchment lined sheet that you've sprinkled some corn flour or cornmeal on so they don't stick. Then once this tray is done, I'm going to do them with an egg wash, put my desired toppings on, and bake them at 425 for about 20 minutes or so. Okay, in my bowl, I just have an egg wash. It's just a beaten egg with some water. And I'm going to brush it on the bagels. Some of these bagels are a little bit bumpy looking. But like I said, they're homemade. As long as they taste good, they can be ugly. I don't care. Some of them are nice and smooth, but we won't discuss why I think that happened. Okay, I'll just start with those. Then I'm gonna take some poppy seeds and make some poppy bagels, and I'm gonna make some sesame bagels and some plain bagels. Andrew likes everything but the bagel seasoning on them, but I don't have any of that because Doug and I don't care for it. So I don't have any in the house. I wish I did so I could do that for him, but I don't, so. And then I'm gonna leave that I'm gonna egg wash the last row, but I'm gonna leave those plain. I could probably make my own everything but the bagel seasoning. Maybe I'll look that up so I can make a couple of those for Andrew. Okay. Now these are gonna go, like I said, in the oven at 425 for between 20 and 25 minutes. I'm just gonna start keeping an eye on them I don't want them to burn. Okay. There's our first dozen, and then the other dozen will go in after. Okay, I made some everything but the bagel seasoning. It was just minced garlic, minced onion, black sesame seeds, regular sesame seeds, poppy seeds, and sea salt. I did not have sea salt flakes. I just used my Redmond's real salt. And I did not have black sesame seeds, so I just doubled the regular sesame seeds. It will be fine. So we're going to make 4 of those kind. Gonna really load it up. I think Andrew is the only one that eats these kind. I don't know if Ann does or not. But we'll make 4 of those. And then I'm just going to finish the rest. I'll do some more sesame, some more plain, and some more poppy. You can do anything you want on them. You can do cheese to make cheese bagels. You can put the cheese in the batter if you want to take some of the batter out and then sprinkle some cheese on the top. You can put blueberry in. You can do cinnamon sugar or cinnamon raisin, you know, kind of whatever. These ones I don't think rose as much the second time because I think we rushed them a little bit because I wasn't really paying attention, but they'll be fine. They'll be delicious, I'm sure. So the first tray is in the oven. I am going to get that one out and this one in, and we'll see what we have. Okay, the cake is done and out of the oven. So we're just going to let that cool completely, and then we will frost it with a chocolate mousse-like frosting, and it will be done and ready for dessert tonight. Okay, first tray of bagels is out, and they look fantastic. The second tray is in now. I couldn't do both at the same time because the other oven had the cake in it. So the other one's in now, and I'm going to get started on the potato rolls for dinner and then stop and make everybody's breakfast. Okay, let's hear his opinion of the bagels. What do you think? Did you toast it?
I did not. Fresh bagels do not need to be toasted, and these are delicious.
Good?
You've outdone yourself.
Well, thank you. Adam took his upstairs, so I don't know what he thought of them. Ann is still sleeping, I believe, and Andrew is in his therapy session. So I'll get everybody else's.
They're awesome.
Good. They really weren't much work, were they? Honestly?
No, they really weren't. Well, I mean, I didn't do the mixing part, but
that was the easy part. The mixer does all that. So
Yeah.
I will definitely link this recipe down in the description box below because it's a keeper. Absolutely. I have to figure out the points. I do know the calories, but I have to figure out the points. Okay, Adam just came down. He ate, I believe, 2 bagels.
Yeah, I'm having more.
They are small.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
I'm having more.
Did you like them?
Oh, yeah.
Were they good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
They're so good.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed
I'm
them.
having more.
Okay, so I think the consensus is, we'll see what Ann and Andrew say, but I think they're good. Okay, I feel like we're jumping all over the place here, but that's what happens in a very busy working kitchen. So just to recap, bagels are all done and being eaten. The cake is done and cooling, waiting for the frosting. What else did we do this morning? What else is done, Doug? Cake, bagels. Oh, ice cream is all done.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting started on the dinner rolls for tonight. I am doing a potato dinner roll. I got the recipe from gatherforbread.com. I'll leave it linked in the description box below. So in this mixer so far, I have 2 cups of flour, 2.5 teaspoons of instant yeast, the SAF, because once again, you mix it right in. Then I'm going to add in, I also have, a 1/4 cup of butter. I have some salt. I have 3 tablespoons of sugar. And here I'm going to add in the milk that has been heated to 110 degrees. And I'm just going to turn this on and let it come together and then add some more ingredients. Okay, it's all combined. So we're gonna add 2 more cups of flour. Now this does make 24 dinner size rolls. Oh, nope. I lied. We're gonna add in the egg and the potato. See, I'm glad I read that. This is just a 1/2 cup of potato that I cooked and mashed. Now we're gonna let that come together. Then we're gonna add in our 2 cups of flour. Okay, I'm just going to scrape the sides down a little bit, make sure all the flour is getting picked up and incorporated. And then we are going to put the mixer up to 4, which is like a knead speed. And I'm gonna let it knead for about 6 to 7 minutes. Okay, sorry about the kneading going on in the background, but while that's kneading, I'm going to eat my breakfast. I have one of my homemade bagels. I have to still figure out the points. It'll go on the screen. I know it's, what did I say, 200 and some calories. 1 egg for 0 points and 70 calories. 1/4 ounce of raw milk cheddar for 1 point and 20 calories. 1 slice of Canadian bacon for 20 calories and 0 points. So I'm gonna sit and enjoy this with a cup of tea while the mixer's doing all the work. Okay, so I am doubling the pot pie. So we've got 1 chicken in here. It's just water, celery, carrots, onion, salt, pepper, and bouillon. And 1 chicken in here. These are our home-raised, home-processed chickens. And we are just gonna let these come up to a boil and then let them simmer for about 1.5 hours, 2 hours until they're done, and we can easily pull the chicken meat off the bones. While the chicken is cooking, I'm gonna get started on the noodles. Well, my friends, I will say that this was definitely a successful rise. This is the potato roll dough. So now we are going to punch it down and we are going to weigh it out and do it into 24 equal pieces. And they say to put the 24 pieces into a 9x13. This is my Pampered Chef 9x13 stone. No, it is, oh, I don't know why why is it so blurry? Hang on. Okay, that's better. It's not dirty, it's seasoned. It's just like a cast iron. They get seasoned, and this is certainly very well seasoned. So we are going to do the same thing we did with the bagels. We are going to punch it down. We're going to weigh it out. We're going to shape them just like we did the bagels and get 24 of them in here, 4 across, 6 down. And then I think we're going to put it in the fridge. So the second rise is a bit slower because I don't want to bake these until right before we eat tonight. Okay, I did not show you us making the pot pie because I have a whole video on it that I will link up in the iCards, and I'll link in the description box, and I'll link at the end. You can see the whole process. But I will show you our finished product right now. Well, midway product. Okay, these are the noodles. There's 2 here and there's 1 over there, big tray over there. These are just gonna sit out and dry all afternoon. They have to dry for at least 30 minutes, but the longer you leave them out, it's fine. So that's what they're doing. We got all this beautiful, beautiful stock from the 2 chickens we cooked. We ended up getting, what, 17 and a half cups of stock. And now Doug is
Burning his fingers.
Burning his fingers because he's not using the forks to get all of the chicken off of the bones.
That one came right off. This one does not.
We're gonna shred it up, and that will go back into the pot pie. So while he's doing this, I'm gonna make the icing for the cake, and then I should be done for a little while, and I'm gonna go get a shower, and I'm gonna get our table set. Okay, next up on the agenda is making the icing for the cake. This is where I'm gonna stray a little bit. So I have a box of instant chocolate pudding here and a cup of milk. I'm just gonna combine those together. Okay. I'm gonna keep whisking until it's nice and smooth and it starts to get thick. I don't know how long that's gonna take. Oh, apparently not long. And then, oh, sorry guys. You are supposed to add this to 8 ounces of Cool Whip. I just can't do Cool Whip. The ingredients just, I can't do it. For me. If you love Cool Whip, it's fine. I just can't do it. Now there is a product called True Whip that doesn't use the hydrogenated oils and all that. But my local grocery store does not have it. I have to go to one of the bigger grocery stores. So instead, I just took heavy cream and beat it into whipped cream. What?
I was thinking, to beat it, just beat it.
Oh, Doug's singing Just Beat It by Michael Jackson, because that's the point where Doug is right now. He's been in the kitchen all day helping me. He has a new appreciation for it. Even though I told him not to because this is his birthday dinner, but whatevs. So I'm just going to put this in my whipped cream and fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it. I don't want it to deflate or anything until it combines. And then we're gonna ice the cake, get that in the fridge, and be done with that. So I'm just gonna go take my time and gently fold this in, and I'll show you when it's done and when I frost the cake. Okay, here is our cake, here is our icing, and all you do is plop it on. You want a nice thick coating. This actually turned out beautiful. So I'm really glad that I did that. Now we'll just use an offset spatula. I missed a little spot there, as you can see. That's okay. We'll just blend it in. It's very quiet in the house because my boys and Anne are not here. They went, you've heard me talk about Mrs. Ewan, my mom's best friend, the one I took to get the iPad that day. They went over to her house to visit her for a little bit. And Andrew wanted to introduce her to Anne. So that's where they are. And like I said, it's very quiet without all them here. Andrew and Anne definitely have schoolwork to do. They have lesson planning and grading to get done. I'm sure they'll spend most of the day tomorrow working on that. And Andrew also has to work in his bedroom a little bit. So Andrew and Adam both have like student desks from when they were young. I think we got them when they were in grade school. Actually, the one that Adam was using was my desk when I was a little girl. It's seen better days because it went through me, it went through one of my nephews, then it went through Adam. So it's seen better days. It's just, you know, getting old. It's still solid, but it just needs some loving. But they're just so small because they're student desks. And they weren't really working out. The one Andrew had was actually bigger than the one Adam had. Well, the other day on, you guessed it, Gibbstown Giving, someone was giving away a huge monster of a desk, and they had refinished it. It was like a wood grain, and they had like painted it gray, and it was very gothic looking. Like I said, it kind of looked like something out of Dungeons and Dragons or Game of Thrones or something. There we go. That's all done. I'm exhausted. I'm very tired. Got the whole kitchen cleaned up, got everything ready to go for when I actually start putting the pot pie together, and all the kids walked in. And they all wanted lunch. I forget that people eat lunch because I never do, or rarely do. So we just pulled out all the leftovers. We had haluski, we had dill pickle soup, we had buffalo chicken pasta, we had meatballs. So everybody had something different. So that's all cleaned up, and I am finally going to get a shower, and Adam's making brownies. He'll clean up his mess, but he won't clean it up like Mama cleans it up, so. It's pure chaos here, my friends, and that's how I love it. So I'm going to jump in the shower real quick, throw on some clean clothes, look half decent, and get dinner started. I just have to put the broth on, add the noodles to the broth and let them cook for 10 minutes, then add all the chicken in and let it cook for another 30 minutes until it gets thickened. And you know me, I always end up thickening it anyway with some arrowroot powder or some cornstarch or whatever it is I grab out of the cabinet. And the rolls have to be baked, and that's it. I was going to do a salad, but not doing it. This is enough. So anyway, I'll be back later to show you what's going on. Once again, failed as a vlogger. Number one, I am not crying. My eyes are watering because it is so cold and windy here today. So last night you saw I cooked all day yesterday, and then my in-laws came for dinner, and that was it. Never picked up the camera again. I had every intention of showing you all the finished products. But you know what? Sometimes you just don't pick up the camera and you're just in the moment. We had such a nice time. Dinner was delicious.
Yes, it was.
We had such a nice time just with, you know, Doug's mom and brother and the boys. And I really think Doug's mom enjoys just hearing the boys' stories and being silly and, you know. So, and, you know, they got to meet Ann last night, so that was nice. Let's see, dinner. Chicken pot pie is always delicious. And just such comfort food and very filling. Those potato rolls, they're my new go-to. Were they phenomenal?
They were on point. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. They were so good. I could have just eaten that and nothing else. And the cake, of course. I have not had that cake. I am so glad Doug chose that cake. I have not had that cake probably in
a couple of years. Yeah.
I was saying like 10 years.
I don't know. Well, maybe it has been that long.
Yeah. So good. And there's a Father Bert Nazi.
Yeah.
Chatting him up.
I saw him walking over there. I was wondering why he was going.
There was a group of nuns here today, and I thought when I saw them, I thought, oh, they're gonna probably be speaking about something, but maybe they're just here for a visit. I don't know.
It's that newish order that's down in Atlantic City. I forget their name.
Oh, is it?
Yes, I recognize the habits. It's the same ones.
The gray habits.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. We're.
I forget.
I'm not sure if you can. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Before I got distracted. Shocking.
Talking about the cake.
Talking about the cake. So good. So good. So good. And a little bit of ice cream with that. And that's it. I'm very hungry this morning. I didn't
Are you? I was, yeah.
I got hungry like right around the end of Mass. I was like, oh, my stomach's growling a little bit. Not sure. Now, we got up and came to 9:30 Mass. Andrew and Ann were going to come with us. And I
totally did not expect that.
Doug did not expect that. They're coming to 11:30. Adam did not come with us because he is leaving to go back to school. And then he will go to Mass tonight with the track team and Bella and company. So that was his plan all along. That's one of those things.
Yes.
What else? Guess that's about it. So like I said, I am so sorry that I did not vlog last night and show. I can show you. I wanted to show you the inside of the cake because I talked about how it like reverses. So there is cut pieces, so I can show you that. I'll definitely remember to show you that. We were gonna do like a brunch today, like waffles and bacon and stuff, but honestly, Adam's not gonna be around for it, and I don't know what the other two have planned with going to mass so late, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I would be super duper happy we put the homemade bagels yesterday into the freezer. I would be really happy having a bagel sandwich again for breakfast this morning, or like just a bagel and dippy eggs or something, because they were so good. But whatever it is, I will definitely show you. It's going to probably be a very low-key day today. Doug has homework to do. He has to write a 3-minute informative speech and then practice it and then give that speech on Tuesday. And he was trying to decide what to do the speech on, and I think he figured it out.
I think it's going to be on chickens.
On chickens?
Yeah.
But he has to figure out, like, it's only 3 minutes. So, like, I mean, I could talk about chickens for hours. He has to figure out exactly what he's going to talk about, whether it's different breeds, or care of chickens, or whatever. So he's going to do that. And he was talking to his brother last night, who, when he took public speaking, he did his informative speech on coffee. So I thought that was pretty interesting. What else? Oh, and I'm sure Andrew and Ann have lots of grading and lesson planning to do today, so I'm guessing they will be camped out at the kitchen table, coffee flowing, working on that. We'll see. I think I'm going to probably curl up on the couch and go through some cookbooks and look over my inventory list, and I really think I want to continue the pantry challenge through February. I'm looking for a reaction here.
Okay.
We do need to go out and get a few things though. We're out of I think there's like 8 little mandarins left in the refrigerator and 1 apple. So we definitely have to go out and get fruit. The only thing I have canned are pears and peaches, and I would really like some fresh raw fruit. So maybe next year I'll think about it a little bit more in the fall, and when I get the apples that we get to make our applesauce and stuff like that, I'll get some apples that store really well, like Cameo apples store really well. So maybe I'll get some of those and keep those. If you store them in the refrigerator, at like 34 degrees, they store really well. So just, every year I just want to do a little bit better. That's what it comes down to. I just want to do a little bit better. I did Friday. I didn't vlog on Friday. When everybody was home for dinner, we made buffalo chicken pasta. That was Adam's request. I can't eat it. It's just too hot for me. I am such a wimp. I am. I guess if I cut down the hot sauce to like a tablespoon, I'd be fine with it. I think next time I make it, I will take out mine before I put the hot sauce in it. Or I'll just make like some separate pasta for me. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I was miserable eating it. And I'm sad because it tastes so good. So, I don't know. Well, I'll work on that a little bit for myself. But they destroyed it. And then I made a peach cobbler for dessert, and I used my home canned peaches, and it was delicious. And the recipe is on my website. I'll link it below. It's only 4 points for a serving, and I think that is fantastic for a delicious, warm, comforting dessert. Because you definitely want to eat it warm, I think. But I think 4 points is fantastic for a dessert, a real dessert. I mean, it has real butter in it. I do use half the 0-calorie brown sugar and half real brown sugar. I find that blending it for me works really well because of like the taste and the texture and things. But you could definitely use light butter if that's what you like to use, and you could definitely use all of the 0 point sweetener. You could probably bring the points down to 2 or 3 for a serving. That's a nice size serving, so definitely definitely check that out if you want a nice dessert. It's not a pretty dessert. It's very blah looking, but man, is it delicious. There's probably about 4 servings left in the pan. So if everybody else has cake today, I'll have that because it's definitely less calories and less points than that cake. But once again, rambling, so I'm gonna head out. When I get home, I will show you what we are eating. Adam is making brownies before he goes back to school. He wants to take brownies back with him, so he's working on that this morning. I think this is his 3rd pan in as many days that he's made, so luckily I can pretty much say no to those. But I will say Adam does make the best brownies in the world. He really does.
They're good.
They're really good. So I will show you when I get home and whatever we decide to have for breakfast. Womp womp. Guess where he's going?
Heading south.
Back to school.
Back to school. He's been home for a month. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly a month. And it's time to go back, but that's where he is in life. And will this mama miss him?
I helped you a lot this
He
past
was the
break.
biggest help during break. Oh my gosh, he worked his butt off for me. I hope you got to relax and enjoy it too.
Oh,
you did.
yeah,
You had a
absolutely.
good time with your buddies.
Absolutely, yeah.
His Jersey buddies. Now he's going back to his Maryland buddies.
Yeah.
And going back to Bella. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, he's heading back. It's about a 2.5 hour ride, so I will be anxiously awaiting the "I'm here, Mom" text because I don't care how old they get. You still want to know when they arrive safely. So Andrew and Ann left for church. They already said goodbye to him, so we're going to go say our goodbyes, and then we're going to eat breakfast because it is 11:30, and I'm getting hungry, so... Okay, sitting down for lunch. It is 10 after 12. So I'm having 2 dippy eggs. I'm having 3 strips, that's 0 points and 140 calories. I'm having 3 strips of bacon, which is 5 points, and I have to look at the calories. And I'm having one of my homemade bagels with 0 points worth of butter. I still have to figure out the points and the calories I know, it's 270-ish. And I have to figure out the points on that. So that is our lunch today. Before I forget and the kids eat the rest of this, I wanted to show you the cake. See how now the cheese layer's on the bottom, the cake layer's in the middle, and of course the frosting's on top. So it's really, really a good cake. Nice special occasion cake. I will either put the recipe down below or take a screenshot of the card or something for you, in case you are interested. Okay, sitting here on this very sunny Sunday, watching Kids Baking Championship, catching up, working on menu, and looking for some new recipes in cookbooks and online. That is going to be part of my Sunday afternoon. Adam made it back to school safely, and Andrew and Ann are just returning from church and going out, and my calmness and quietness will soon end. Doug is upstairs working on his speech and all that good stuff. So looking forward to a nice relaxing afternoon spent with my recipes. And oh, I should have washed my hair this morning because it is a hot mess. I was lazy. These guys have been going at it since about 1:30. But I'm gonna make them stop and take a break so they can eat their dinner. Their grading and lesson planning and all that teachery stuff. Okay, sitting down to dinner, I have a 4-ounce Butcher Box sirloin. That is 4 points, 150 calories with a little bit of sauteed mushrooms over top. I have roasted butternut squash for 0 points. I have to look in the calories. And 1 teaspoon of horseradish garlic butter on there. I have corn for 0 points, and I have a sweet potato that is 3 ounces. I have to look up the points and calories. I'll just put everything on the screen. Okay, ending my night with a little dessert. I have 1 serving of the peach cobbler I made the other night, It is 4 points and 194 calories. And I have about a tablespoon of my homemade ice cream. I'm giving it 1 point, and I have to look up the calories. It's pretty much inconsequential. It looks like a big glob, but it's really not. It's a tiny little bit. Those guys are eating their dessert and still working. And Doug is practicing his speech some more. So that's it for me. That is it for my weekend. I am happy to report that I did get done my entire menu for 2 weeks from now. So that's good. Or I guess not this coming week, but next week. So that's good. I got that done early, and now I got it all wrinkled. I guess that's it. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend it with me. I do appreciate it, and I will see you all, I'm not sure when, maybe Tuesday for a full day of eating. Talk to you soon, my friends.